कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद। श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्तवृंद।
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome to Nityam Bhagavad Sevaya. Today we are very happy to have the association of His Grace Aniruddha Seva Prabhuji. He will be sharing Bhagavad Gita from 4th Canto 29 chapter verses 1a and 2a. The chapter is titled Talks Between Narada and King Prachina Bari. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Hare Krishna Aniruddha Seva Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Hare Bol.
Hare Bol Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam Prabhu, Hare Krishna.
Yes Prabhuji, we can start class.
Yeah. Start with a small kirtan.
Sure. Yes. Video, if you can you please switch on.
I'll start.
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Name you the name.
No issues.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Raghupi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yashodanandana Brajana Ranjana, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Yamuna Tira Vanachari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Jaya Radha, Shama Sundar Radha, Shama Sundar Radha. Jaya Radha, Madhava Radha, Madhava Radha. Jaya Radha, Ramana Radha, Ramana Radha. Jaya Radha, Gandharva Krishna Radha, Gandharva Krishna Radha. Jaya Radha, Muralidhara Radha, Muralidhara Radha. Jai Jagannatha, Jai Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jai Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jai Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram. Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan Dham, Vrindavan Dham, Jaya Vrindavan. Jaya Gauranika, Jaya Gauranika, Gauranika, Jaya Gauranika. Jaya Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva, Panchatattva, Jaya Panchatattva. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Jam Shpat from Katra, Stotra Siddhasma speak. His divine grace abide Charan Bhakti on Shamshla Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. ISKCON Samstap Shla Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Krishna Kripamurti Shla Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Jagat Guru Shla Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai. Jam Shpat from Katra, Stotra Siddhasma speak. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Ananta Koti Acharya Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shla Dastakur ki jai. Prem Sakar Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Radha Gunda Sham Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. वृंदावन मथुरा धाम की जय, मायापुर नवद्वीप धाम की जय, जगन्नाथपुरी द्वारका धाम की जय, गंगे में यमुना माई की जय, तुलसी भक्त देव की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम, हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद ट्रांसलेशन. All glories to assemble duties, all glories to assemble duties, all glories to assemble duties, all glories to all glories. Shri Guru Shri Gauranga, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Hare Krishna, welcome to all the devotees for today's Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So we are in the 4th canto and 29th chapter, and we are covering 29.1a, 2a, and 2b. So these are 3-4 verses are there. So that will be covering today. Hare Krishna. I'll start with the prayer. Om Agnana Timran Dasya Gnananjana Shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Mena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupakada Mahyam Tadvati Supadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Sha Shri Rupam Sakraja Damsagaragana Tanvitam Tamsaji Vamsad Vai Tamsa Dhutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sagana Lalita Shri Shakamitam Sham He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Taptakan Chana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Shabhan Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpataruksha Kripa Sindhu Bhyaja Patitanam Pavane Vaishnave Pyo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. So this is the shloka 4.29, 29.1a and 2a. सर्वेषामेव जन्तूनां सततं देहपोषणे अस्ति प्रज्ञा समायत्ता को विशेषस्तदृणाम् सर्वेषामेव जन्तूनां सततं देहपोषणे अस्ति प्रज्ञा समायत्ता को विशेषस्तदृणाम् सर्वेषामेव जन्तूनां सततं देहपोषणे अस्ति प्रज्ञा समायत्ता को विशेषस्तदृणाम् लब्धवेहान्ते मनुष्यत्वं हित्वा देहादि असद्ग्रहम् आत्मा संसृत्य विहायेदं जीवात्मा स विशिष्यते लब्धवेहान्ते मनुष्यत्वं हित्वा देहादि असद्ग्रहम् आत्मा श्रुत्या विहायेदं जीवात्मा स विशिष्यते लब्धवेहान्ते मनुष्यत्वं हित्वा देहादि असद्ग्रहम् आत्मा श्रुत्या विहायेदं जीवात्मा सा विशिष्यते. So word by word meaning, translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Sarvesham, all, eva, certainly, jantunam, of animals, satatam, always, deha poshane, to maintain the body, asti, there is, pragna, intelligence, samayatta, resting on, ka, what, vishesha, difference, tada, then, nranam, of the human beings, labdva, having attained. Iha, here, ante, at the end of many births, manushyatvam, a human life, hitva, after giving up, deha adi, in the gross and subtle body, asadgraham, an incorrect conception of life, atma, spiritual knowledge, shrutya, by the path, vihaya, having abandoned, idam, this body, jiva atma, the intelligent, the individual spirit soul, sa, that, vishishyate, become prominent. Translation: a desire to maintain body, wife, and children is also observed in animal society. The animals have full intelligence to manage such affairs. If a human being is simply advanced in this respect, what is the difference between him and an animal? One should be very careful to understand that this human life is attained after many, many births in the evolutionary process. A learned man who gives up the bodily conception of life, both gross and subtle, will by the enlightenment of spiritual knowledge becomes a prominent individual spirit soul as the Supreme Lord is. Purport. It is said that a man is a rational animal, but from this verse we can also understand this rationality exists even in animal life. Unless there is rationality, how can an animal maintain its body by working so hard? That the animals are not rational is untrue. Their rationality, however, is not very advanced. In any case, we cannot deny them rationality. The point is that one should use one's reason to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, for that is perfection of human life. And Shloka 29.1b.
No, actually 1A, sorry Prabhuji to interrupt, only 1A and 2A Prabhuji for today.
Oh, 1A and 2A?
Yes Prabhuji.
Ah, I see, okay.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, I'll go back. Hare Krishna, Om Agnantiradasi, Nananjana Shalake, Chaksharamritamena, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Hare Krishna. So, as we know that it is chapter, this is the conversation between Prachin Barhi and Narada Muni. And we have covered in the beginning, as we have seen, that there is a lot of discussion. Actually, Prachin Barhi is asking about the allegorical whatever explanation Narada Muni had given, but still he is again asking once again. So everything what was stated in the previous chapters is again being repeated. I think it's almost 4 or 5 chapters which is talking about this Puranjana. So now in this again the 29th chapter, there is a final revision of all that is was said before. So he's telling, my dear Lord, we could not appreciate completely the purport of your allegorical story of King Puranjana. Actually, those who are perfect in spiritual knowledge can understand, but for us who are overly attached to fruitive activities, to realize the purpose of your story is very difficult. So Prachinabar, he is taking a very, very humble position, and then he's telling that I have not been able to understand whatever you said, because it was more of a symbolic nature, and it requires a lot of effort to understand, because there could be a same connotation or a same meaning, which is probably assigned to different aspects. So what is correct, what is not correct is still I'm not understood properly. I'm not perfect in knowledge. So because I'm overly attached to fruitive activities, like that is telling. And actually all that he's mentioning is it's actually meant for us, is making us revise, and also to reiterate the point. It is for the readers, common readers and conditioned souls like us, that Prachin Barhi is taking this position. And so then Narada Muni continues again and gives a gist of entire thing what was mentioned previously. And the very famous sloka is talking about this 18 to 20, where the chariot has a body, the senses are like the ones which pull the chariot, and that is the horses, where we have seen even in Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada, when he printed Bhagavad Gita as it is, he gave that picture of Kurukshetra Yuddha, where Arjuna is riding the chariot, and Krishna is riding the is controlling the chariot. He's as a charioteer, and Arjuna is riding, is behind. So there it is very symbolically also represented how this chariot is there and representing the body, and the horses as the senses, and mind as the rope which is controlling the horses, and then intelligence is the chariot driver. Then in the as Krishna as the chariot driver, Arjuna was very fortunate because he could really make proper use of the intelligence, and he could get the right direction and the right guidance. You just imagine if the position had changed, then it would have been very, very difficult. Arjuna would have gone to different places, and he would have used his own intelligence, and probably the result would have been different. But luckily, he had Krishna, the Supreme Lord, as the controller, a navigator in his life. And so with that, he could easily come out of this material covering. And then finally, Lord, and he as the soul, individual soul, Arjuna, who's been going all over the places. And also it is mentioned here that these 11 soldiers are the soldiers, the being engrossed in sense enjoyment, the living entity seated on the chariot, hankers after fulfillment of his false desires, and runs after sense enjoyment, life after life. So this is the main problem afflicting all the conditioned souls. Somehow, by mercy of the Lord and Guru, Prabhupada, and all the acharyas, we have got this great opportunity to study the scriptures and also follow a real spiritual path. So again, there is one more shloka which is talking about how we are to take shelter of the Lord, and only that we can, with that we can get out of this material. So in this shloka number 36 and 37, in the 37, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Samahitaha Sadri Chinena Vairagyam Gnanam Cha Janayishyati. So again, this is again talking about how we can render, unless one renders devotional service and Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, one cannot possibly become completely detached from this material world, nor can he be possibly manifest real knowledge. So here also Vairagyam, detachment is there, and then Gnanam, that also. Both of them are required. So in the first canto also, this shloka comes where it is mentioned, Vasudeva Bhagavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Ashu Vairagyam Gnanam Chayat Ahetukam. So in that also the same thing is reiterated here. By rendering devotional service unto Supreme Lord Vasudeva, Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha, Janeti Asuarekam. What will happen is you will get into the mode of detachment. You will Janeti means it will arise. It gives rise by doing Bhakti Yoga, Vairagyam, and then Gnanam. You will attain knowledge. With that, which is something ahaitukam, that is something which is causeless. So ahituki, causeless. We can get this, so that by doing that we can come out of those propensities of mental speculation, fruitive activities, or the different aspects of yoga or physical exercises, things like that. We can come out of all that and meditate upon on the Supreme Personality of the Lordhead, and then practice in a very, very positive way to get into this spiritual mood. So like this, he gives, and then Bhakti Yoga is highlighted very much by Narad Muni again. And finally, there is in this conversation the aspect of, again, this is aspect of bodily afflictions or family life, how this is going to affect, that is also mentioned. If you are too much attached to the family life, then we will get entangled, and then we will not be able to serve the purpose. So this acharyas have mentioned that this material life, a material world, is like an ocean, a big ocean, and then we have a boat. The boat is actually our body, and then to sail through in this material world. So the boat, of course, the boat also will have, or the ship will also have a captain, which is actually our spiritual master, and then many. So this way we take the boat in this life, and then as we cross over this material world, we have to make sure that the boat, in order to go over the water, whether it is very wavering water or with lot of wind or lot of wave, whatever it is, turbulence, or whether it's a smooth sea, whatever it is. So the boat has to be rowed and it has to go across. For that we have to struggle, and in order the boat to cross over the water, it requires water should be there. If the water is not there, then if suppose the water is less, the boat or the ship may not be able to go forward. At the same time, if there is too much water inside the boat, and if it enters inside the boat, then the boat may capsize, or the ship may capsize. So that is how this considered, that this material life, or when we're sailing in this material world, the water or the enjoyment, sense enjoyment, also should be restricted to such an extent that how much is minimum, that much only we should engage. If we go overboard and get entangled in that, or attachment to the families, or these kinds of material propensities, then we will get the water. If there is more water, if we fill up more water, more of material desires, more of material things, then the boat will actually sink, it will capsize. So that way we have to have as much as required. Water is required, material life is required in order to cross over. At the same time, it should be well managed. The balance has to be there. So that's what is mentioned here. So here it is talking about the difference between the man and the animal. How even animals have their intelligence. They are also using intelligence. So there is a famous shloka from the Padma Purana, which talks about the Ahara Nidra Bhayamaitanat Dharmo hi eko. या आहार निद्रा भयमैथुनाद सामान्यम एतत् पशुभिः नराणां धर्मो हि तेषाम् अधिक विशेषो धर्मेण हीन पशुभिः समानः. So if in this both the human and in the animal life, they both are engaged in this ahara nidra bhayamaituna, that is eating, sleeping, mating and defending. But the special property so it is common, that is samanya metat pashubhi and narana. But what is the special quality? Adhika vishesho dharmo hi tesham, the aspect of cultivating spiritual life, spiritual knowledge. That is something which is special in the human life. Dharmena hina, if the dharma, if the spiritual life is not undertaken, then you're also considered as an animal. So this is what Padma Purana says. So like that, here Prabhupada also starts by saying that it is said that a man is a rational animal, but from this verse we can understand that rationality exists even in animal life. Unless there is rationality, how can an animal maintain its body by working so hard? So he is refuting that people think that they talk, many of the so-called learned scientists, or it could be so many other people, philosophers, telling that animal is not working hard, it is not rational, it is not intelligent and all that. So, but Prabhupada is refuting that it is not true, that the animals are not rational is untrue. Their rationality, however, is not very advanced. That is the only issue. So like we have seen in so many instances how these animals are defending themselves. And recently we have seen some video where a tiger is attacking a porcupine. A porcupine is having very on his body a lot of big thorns, in the sense it is like an arrow, like that, so sharp it is. Those feathers, actually it's part of the feathers, but it has the arrows, and the nature has given that kind of a body over the skin. It has arrows like feathers like thing, which is ending with the sharp arrows, and with that it is able to here the tiger, and it can cause pain, and it can even get into the skin, tiger skin, and then the blood may come out and it might get wounded, but still it is trying to attack. It is actually trying to take the smaller porcupine, and how much ever it is trying to get hold of the smaller porcupine, the baby one, both the adults are completely defending. They're not allowing even an inch for the tiger. Actually, it is trying to put his the legs, the four legs, but it is not able to catch. And at the same time, the parents are attacking with their arrow like those thorny feathers. So like this, when it is doing that, it is suffering, but it is still trying to get its food, but ultimately it is not able to succeed. And in the bargain, the porcupine is already lost so many of those feathers, the thorny feathers, arrow-like feathers, and it is also losing. That is also losing its protection. So like this, the world it goes on, and then ultimately the tiger is fed up. It is saying that no, I cannot do, because it cannot capture, and it retracts. It just goes away. It fails in its mission, and then it goes back. So like this, and then we also seen one parakeet, parrot kind of a thing, that colorful bird, which is sitting on a coconut tree, and it cuts the coconut from the tree, one of the coconuts, and then with its beaks, it removes the top portion of the pulp, where actually it is little softer, and it is actually making a hole in that softer the shell, and it is actually drinking the coconut. So we cannot. So this is the eating tendency. Who has given the intelligence to the bird, and how much of research it has done, how much of struggle it has done, and how it has observed other people doing it, or you would have seen maybe a monkey doing it, or some other animal, and it has actually followed it. So like that, so many instances are there where animals are using their intelligence beyond our recognition. I mean, we have seen a cow drinking water from a running tap, and then it also uses its head and the horn to close the tap so that water is not getting wasted. So like this, there are so many instances where we can find animals are actually using their intelligence. And we cannot deny that. I mean, all that it makes us realize that how the Lord has created this world and how he has thought of each and every aspect, that animals also are taken care, because at the end of the day, they are also a living entity, also a product of by their living entities, or the jivatmas created by the Lord himself. So like that, we can understand. So animals have full intelligence to manage such affairs. If human being is simply advanced in this aspect, what is the difference between human and animal? Apart from this, we also seen where a snake has gone carrying the bilwa. It is go to the plants and it carries the leaf, cuts the leaf, and then brings it and offers it to the linga on the Shivlinga. So this is the bhakti even they are showing. And we have seen in a place in Tirupati where a cow and one varaha. This actually the Andhra Pradesh is a varaha kshetra also. So where this boar or the pig is actually offering circumambulation, or it is in parikrama of the Lord Srinivasa, Venkateshwara in the temple. So like this, they're all having. So this is an extended logic where from their past lives, where they have actually did some spiritual activity, they have done some bhakti seva, and because of that, now they have realized and they are extending that same thing to the Lord. So this way, they might in their next lives they can get purified, and they will again come back to the human life, and the animals also can be elevated in their spiritual consciousness and ultimately go back to Godhead. So all these things is actually the creation of the Supreme Lord. He has created in such a way that nothing is left short for the entire nature or all the living entity. Everybody is given a certain facility to do this spiritual activity. It is only up to them how they use their intelligence and how they maintain their ego, how they surrender their ego. This is very, very important. If these two things are done, then easily they can also perfect their human life. So one should be very careful to understand that this human life is attained after many, many births in the evolutionary process. So like that, many acharyas have also talked about it, and the famous Hari Vaishnav song also, Bhajahure Mana, Bhajahure Mana, Shri Nanda Nandana, Abhaya Charana Ravindare, Durlabhama Nava Janma Sat Sange, Tora Hoye Bhava Sindhure. So Durlabha Manava, this getting human life is actually very, very rare. Manava Janma Sat Sange. And if you are involved in the Satsanga, then all that you have to do is serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So many, many lifetime takes place, and then you get this human life. Similarly, Haridasas, Kannada Haridasa also have mentioned that Yesu Kayangala Kaladu 84 laksha Jivarashi Dati Banda Isharira Tanalla Tanadalla Ase Taravalla Munde Bahodilla Dasanago Visheshanago Bhavapashavani go. So they in this also the shloka in this Kirtan, the Dasa is telling that Dasanago Visheshanago. Yesu Kayangala Kaladu. We don't know how many 84 million lives we have actually crossed over, and then we have come to this human form of life. This is actually a song by our Kanakadasa, who is actually contemporary of Purandaradasa also. And then he has mentioned, he has given this revelation, or through his realization, that 84 ವರ್ಷ ಜೀವರಾಶಿಯನ್ನು ದಾಟಿ ಬಂದ ಈ ಶರೀರ, 84 lakh species. So why are you, holding your ego? Why are you not surrendering? Don't think everything is happening because of you. So like that, you first come out of your surrender your ego, and then become a dasa, vishesha. Then you can become vishesha. The same thing what the Padma Purana said, dharma eko adhika vishesha. So the same, the special quality of human life, please take advantage, and then become a disciple. Take a guru in your life, and then spiritual master, bona fide spiritual master, and then practice devotional service. So that way you can come out of this material afflictions. Though ಆಶಾ ಕ್ಲೇಶ ದೋಷವೆಂಬ ಅರ್ತಿಯೊಳಗೆ ಮುಳುಗಿ ಯಮನ ಪಾಶಕ್ಕೊಳಗಾಗದೆ ನಿರ್ದೋಷಿಯಾಗೋ ಸಂತೋಷಿಯಾಗೋ. ಕಾಶಿ ವಾರಾಣಸಿ ಕಂಚಿ ಕಾಳಹಸ್ತಿ ರಾಮೇಶ್ವರ ಯೇಸು ದೇಶ ತಿರುಗಿದರು ಬಾಹೋದೇನೋ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗೋದೇನೋ. ದೋಷನಾಶಿ ಕೃಷ್ಣವೇಣಿ ಗಂಗೆ ಗೋದಾವರಿ ಭವನಾಶಿ ತುಂಗಭದ್ರೆ ಯಮುನೆ ವಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪವಾಸದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೀಸಲಾಗಿ ಮಿಂದು ಜಪತಪ ಹೋಮ ನೇಮಗಳ ಏಸು ಬಾರಿ ಮಾಡಿದರು ಫಲವೇನು ಛಲವೇನು. ದಾಸನಾಗೋ ವಿಶೇಷನಾಗೋ ಭವಪಾಶವಾನಿಗೋ. So very wonderfully he is describing that asha klesha, you are having so many desires, and then you are having so much of you're doing afradas, and you have so much of contamination because of this material, because of your desires, fulfilling desires, you are committing offenses, doshas. Again, you're having this mistakes you are doing, committing. Arthiyolge mulgi, and in this bhavasagar, in this material world, you are almost getting drowned. Yamana pashak olagagade. Don't get caught by this Yama's noose when he puts a rope into your neck. Don't get caught. Nirdoshiyago and santoshiyago. Try to become, don't make too much mistakes. Try to come out of this making offenses, and then become happy. Then he's telling, you are going to so many places, Tirtha Yatra, but what is this? If you are not having the mood of real surrender, Kashi, Varanasi, Kanchi, Kalahasti, Rameshwara, Yesu Desha Tirigadaru, so many places you are going, but if you are not really taking association of the devotees there, and if you are not really contemplating your human value of your human life, and if you are not bahodenu, alli hogodenu, if you are not surrendering to the Lordship, then what is the use? Then Doshanashi, Krishnaveni, Gange, Godavari, all your sins will be eradicated, will be wiped out if you take bath in these holy rivers. If you are taking in this Godavari, Krishna, Gange, Kaveri, all this, you are taking you're dipping and then taking bath. But then if you're not doing a real meditation there, and if you're not doing your prescribed chanting rounds, and then if you're not doing the vratas like upvasa or ekadashi, if you're not doing this, taking these austerities, then what is the use? It is like Yesubari Madidaru Palavenu, each Chalavenu. There is no benefit. So it is not just physical activity, but it is also to be inner. You should concentrate inner and serve your do your service for your Lordship to the soul. You serve the supreme soul, the Paramatma. So that's why you please remember him, chant his holy name, and then get into the act of spiritual. So like that is glorifying the Lord, and how the spiritual activity and these things can keep us intact. Otherwise, we can get contaminated. A learned man who gives up the bodily conception of life, both gross and subtle, will, by the enlightenment of spiritual knowledge, become a prominent individual spirit soul, as the Supreme Lord is. So we can get the same quality of this Sachidananda Vigraha. The Lord is actually having this three very qualities of Sat, absolute truth, and Chit, that is the absolute intelligence or the supreme intelligence, and also the Ananda, the eternal happiness, which is available, the Paramananda, which is actually available, that is available with the Lord, and that too in unlimited quantity. These qualities are there. Whereas we as Jivatma, we are also having this Sachidananda Vigraha Rupa, but it is a very spark, like a small drop of water as compared to the ocean. So it's the same quality what we are also enjoying, but only thing is that as long as we are engaged in the spiritual activity, then we are dovetailing all our activities, material activities, dovetailing in the serving the Lord, then it is easy that we remain happy and we will not get further contamination. Like, for example, if you want the water, the fresh water, yes, you can always get fresh water and it has to remain fresh water. But by chance, if a small a drop of salt gets mixed into it, that's it, the whole water can become salty. Like milk, by a drop of a small curd, one drop of a curd, the whole milk overnight can become curd. So like that, because of the small contamination. So that's why we have to be careful that this contamination should not enter our life as much as possible. Keep it purified by and again, most importantly, the enlightenment of spiritual knowledge. So the Shastric studies is very important, where we can keep our consciousness in a very, very pure way and in a very filtered manner. And by remaining in that, as we are called as the Tatastha Shakti, the marginal energy of the Lord, we can why it is called marginal or Tatastha Shakti is because either our Atma can sway to the material world, which is the Maya or the external energy of the Lord, or it can sway to the internal potency of the Lord or the Hladini Shakti of the Lord, where we can actually be in spiritual association. So either way it can waver like a pendulum. So as long as we keep it in the spiritual realm, then our activities also will be converted. Even though we could be doing material activity, it appears for a person outside that we are also we are also eating, honoring prasad, we are also going to the market, bringing some fruits, vegetables, flowers, all these things, many things, and maintaining a family. All these things appear to be like what the other man is doing, other common people are doing. But the difference is that ours is covered with the prior motive. The prior motive is to serve the Lordship. So that way, our entire intention is actually towards the spiritual aspect. Whereas the other karmi or other people might be just doing it for their own self-enjoyment. So that self-enjoyment will actually land up in material tribulations. So this way we can understand. So that is how we have to remain in this spiritual realm as much as possible. Hare Krishna. And Lord also will show His mercy the moment we are attached. If we are really keen on serving Him, He will give various opportunities for us to serve at the same time. So recently we had Radharaman appearance. The Lord Radharaman, which is there in Vrindavan. The temple is there in Vrindavan. Many of you would have visited. So that Lord, which we can see, it's hardly about a 1 foot height, and it is actually made from the Shaligrama Shila. So it is a great mercy of the Lord how this Radharaman deity manifested. I mean, I'll just like to give in a brief about this pastime, which happened in, I think, 1542, which is about 500 years back. 500 years back, this really incident which happened, how the Lord reciprocated to the devotees his prayers, and how He gave him the benefit of so that serving Him eternally. So we all know that Gopala Bhatta Goswami, who was actually Venkata Bhatta, who was in Srirangam, his son. So he, when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had come for South India Yatra, and he stayed in Srirangam in the Chaturmasa time, So he had a very nice association with this family, Garapatta family. And even today, if we visited the Srirangam temple, in the third or in the fourth road itself, the gate itself, we have this house where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed, and there is a temple, and the Paduka of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is there, and the house where Mahaprabhu stayed is also we can see. But I mean, we have to take prior approval to go inside all that. So we can see that how Mahaprabhu lived there, and he gave. There are a lot of discussion with his Iyengar or the Sri Vaishnava family, and the entire Sri Vaishnava community was in awe of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, listening to his discourses and participating in the Sankirtan. So it was very, very wonderful, lively atmosphere which was there, and they are so fortunate to have the Lord's association directly. And this Gopal Bhatta Goswami, on the advice of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, after his studies, he was sent. He told that told Father Venkata that you send Gopal Bhatta Goswami to Vrindavan. Let him serve there, let him study the scriptures, and let him be trained under the guidance of Jiva Goswami and all Rupa Goswami, Sanatan Goswami. So let him be. And as predicted, the same thing happened. And then he also went to Vrindavan. So that's why Gopal Bhatta Goswami is also one of the 6 Sad Goswami. The Shad is 6 Goswamis, the very famous 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. He's also part of that 6 Goswamis. So he was there, and he was doing his daily activities, spiritual activities, all that in a very, very proper way. And it so happened that he had Shaligrama Shilas, and then he was worshipping it. And when he had gone to Gandaki in Nepal, the Nepal river where the Shaligramas are available, so he had brought these Shaligrama Shilas, and he was worshipping it. Only thing is that, and at one point of time, again by the arrangement of the Lord, there was a big rich man, devotee of the Lord, who brought some very nice jewelry, nice clothes, so that he wanted to give, and he gifted it to Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And Gopal Bhatta Goswami was actually perplexed. I'm only having Shaligrama Shilas, I'm worshipping this. I don't have, if suppose the Lord is in a form as a Murti, then I can easily make use of these dresses and this jewelry and all that. Now it's all round shape, it's all like stones. How I can do anything? All that I can do is I can bathe in water, milk, and then I apply chandan, sandalwood paste, and tulsi and some flowers. That's it, and offer garland and or incense and dhoop, and that's it. The puja is over. So like this, he was thinking about it, and he was contemplating. So Lord, in the Shaligrama Shila form, he heard his prayer, and then he said, "Okay, don't worry." So then, while he was contemplating like this, the next day, actually, Narsimdev appearance happened, and they all celebrated Narsimdev appearance the previous day. And the same thoughts was coming to his mind, Gopal Bhatta Goswami, that he don't have a Murti form of the Lord, and he was thinking like that. And immediately the next day, when he woke up, he saw in that in the Sampushta, where he was keeping the Saligrama Shilas, that this beautiful, wonderful form of the Radharaman has manifested, and that is in a Murti form. I mean, something, it was shocking. It was very huge surprise for Gopal Bhatta Goswami. He could not believe his eyes. He was thinking, how this can, he just was thinking and meditating, and then suddenly he got this Saligrama Shila converted. Saligrama Shila got converted and became into Murti form, because he had a desire that he wanted to use those dresses and jewelry for the Lord. And even today, if you look at the Radharaman deity, it is so handsome and so cute. You cannot, if you keep on looking at it, you will be still gazing at it. And it is said, I mean, you can see that the Lord is smiling like this, and then the teeth are visible. And the Lord, when he manifested, the teeth are visible. And also the nails on the hand, on the legs, it is growing, or it is there. You can see the nails also. So it is a real form of the Lord which manifested, and which is there. And then they were so fortunate to have this deity, and they started worshipping. And the same message was relayed to Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, and they were all, most of the Acharya Swami who were there, all were wonderstruck, and they were all completely aved by the Lord's this manifestation and this Leela, and they were all in praise of Gopal Bhatta Goswami, that how your desire has been answered by the Lord, how he has reciprocated. Ye yatama prapadyante tham sadeva bhajamyaham. So you desired it, the Lord has reciprocated. So like this, they started, and then they made a big feast. So that the next day after the Narsimha also, we celebrate this appearance of Radha Raman deity. So like this, we can understand. And then Prabhupada was very, very impressed by this deity. I mean, he was always attracted to the Radharaman deity. Although now today, the Radharaman deity is worshipped. The temple is managed by the local Brajavasis, and the forefather, the ancestors of those people who were there, Gopala Bhatta Goswami and their ancestors, or those who came in that line, family line, they are still worshipping there. And so Prabhupada even today was mentioning, he has mentioned very recently also that the standard of worship, what is there for Radharaman, should be adopted even by ISKCON. He was very much impressed by their quality standards, and he always, whenever he used to visit Vrindavan, used to have darshan of this Radha Raman deity. So like this, Prabhupada is glorified the deity, and then again the service of the Goswamis, and especially Gopal Bhatta Goswami. So like this manifestation happens. And then similarly, even Madhavendra Puri also. I mean, we also celebrated Madhavendra Puri's appearance day. I think it was on Saturday. So even Madhavendra Puri, and now Chandan Yatra has started from Akshaya Tritiya. We do in the Chandan Yatra, and the whole Chandan Yatra again is started, and then where we have this manifestation of Gopal, and then Sakshi, the Gopal deity in Remuna, and then the Gopinath deity in Remuna. Actually, in Remuna, if you have witnessed, it's near Bhubaneswar, where all the three deities are there: Madan Mohan, Radha Madan Mohan, Radha Gopinath, and Radha Gopal. So all these three deities are also there. And in there also the same for Madhavendra Puri, he was the same pastime happened, that the Kshirana or the milk paisam, which is there, which is prepared by the pujaris there, is very, very tasty and very, very nectarian there. And while Madhavendra Puri had gone for darshan in Remuna, and he was having the darshan at that time when the bhog offering was going on, and the bhog offering was taken in the pots, and there are about 14 pots are offered every day, Kshira Paisam to the Lord. And then while they were taking it for bhog offering, the pujaris, Madhavendra Puri just came to his mind, oh my God, they are taking it. How I wish I can also I can taste this. I would have tasted this paisam, and then so that I can also make the same preparation and offer it to my Gopal. Like that, he was thinking in his mind. So just by the little thought, the Lord reciprocated. And then after that night, when they had offered the Kshira Paisam, the Lord had actually kept one pot behind him. He had hidden the pot. And then the Lord also came in as a dream of the pujari, and then told him that I have kept one pot, so please go and hand it over to Madhavendra Puri. So when he immediately, early morning, the next day, he woke up, and then he saw this dream, and he was perplexed actually. How can the Lord do like this? And then he went running and started looking at the place where Madhavendra Puri was there. But actually Madhavendra Puri almost about to leave the place. He was in the outskirts. But then this was told that, Lord has, the pujari met him and told him that, the Lord has told me to come in a dream, and then he told that to offer this Kshirana with this pot to you. And then it was a real, surprise, and it was really, he was completely in bewilderment. My God, how Lord has reciprocated. I just made a casual thought that I can also make same offering to my Lord, and then Lord has actually kept one pot, and then he's want to offer it to me. And then he started tasting it, and then he was complete in ecstasy. So like this, then later on, Madanapuri did not want to get undue respect or undue attention. So he wanted to actually leave the place. He left the place immediately, because otherwise most people will come and then prostrate to him, and then they will try to glorify him. So he didn't want that. He took that humble position. But he left some remnants, paisam and all that, pot remnants, all that for the devotees to get the mercy of the Lord. Hare Krishna. So like this, Lord reciprocates to a small little wish of the devotee. Hare Krishna. I think, time is also up. I will end the session today. If the devotees have any comments, any realizations, they can always raise it now.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you very much for elaborating on the point of how humans are not just rational animals. They deserve much more, and they are capable of much more. And the point about how we are in this ocean, we should fill enough water, not too much water, so that the boat will sink, is a point that I think very worth contemplating. And also thank you for sharing the nectarian pastimes of Radha Raman Diti's appearance day and Madhavendra Puri's pastime. If devotees can unmute themselves to share reflections, or if they have any questions, please ask. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So I think there's no comments or anything. So we'll end the session today.
Yes, Prabhu, we will end with Vaishnava Pranam.
Vaishnava Pranam. Vanchakalpatarusha Kripa Sindhu Bhyocha Patitanam Pavashyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Anantakoti Vaishnava ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gurudev Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Prabhu,
Prabhu.
for the opportunity. Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhu.